So that gives us a segue into adventure and fitness. That's quite a combination, I think, adventure and fitness. How do you use fitness to inspire others? And could you share some of the actionable tips with our audience about adventure and fitness?
Sure. So what I found is that when I talk to, and I work mostly with women who are about roughly 50 up, okay? That's usually my crowd. When I talk to them and I say, hey, have you ever thought about X? Hiking on the Appalachian Trail, stand-up paddleboarding, I don't care. Like I throw something out there, right? And there's this like spark that happens. And the spark is, oh yeah, I would love to be able to do that. But, and the but is always some form of, I'm probably not the right age for this, or I'm afraid that I'm going to hold people back, or I don't want to be that person that can't keep up. And if you think about it, a lot of our lives, we've been like, if you can't keep up, then just don't play.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And in my world, it's if you can't keep up, then let's figure out how to get you to the point where it's going to work. Okay.
Yeah.
So like when I lead an adventure, we always have different levels of fitness, women in different states. Okay. And we train for it. So I can talk to that in just a second. Everybody's in a little different place. I put these together where everybody can play on the same trails and the same water and whatever it is to a certain point. And then there's this point where maybe some people want to pull back and some people want to push out. So that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And when you realize, or when somebody's on a trip with me and they realize that, you know what, Kelly's got me covered, because if I don't want to, for instance, somebody was in a ducky, which is like an inflatable kayak. She was in a ducky. We're getting ready to get on this river. It was a little higher than I thought it should be. And she's, oh, I can't do that. No, you know what? No big deal. We have a raft along. So you lead the duck, you jump in the raft, you play on that raft. Or somebody else said, actually, it's the same trip, I don't think I can do that last day hike. It was substantial. And I said, not a problem, because we're breaking into two groups. The people who want to go out there and be trail goddesses, go for it. The rest of us, we're just going to go chill and have fun. So it's giving women permission to try things they've always wanted to try without the worry of holding people back, without the worry of not being good enough. So that's where adventure comes into it. And I guess if I could say one more thing, what that leads to is it gives us something to look forward to train. Because when you're training for external things outside of you, like I need to lose weight so I look better, whatever, the externals, I need to do this because this is the way it's expected of me, versus, you know what? I am training for this because I want to go and do, like right now we have a trip for the Smoky Mountains coming up. I want to go do the Smoky Mountains. And I want to be so excited. Like in my book, we start that book with the fact it was the view from the top of the mountain. As a group, I had 10 people train with me virtually, and nobody in the entire group thought they would be able to do the trails, and everybody did it amazing. Yeah. I think it's a big deal.
And amazing for their abilities, right?
Amazing for their abilities. They had more ability than they think.
Yeah.
And they were in the right place with the right group. Because when you have a community, just like you said about walking with your son, right? When you have a community or a cohort, oh my gosh, it's a game changer. Mm-hmm. And it's a life changer. It's a longevity changer.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's great. I have so many takeaways. I'll share one takeaway, and that is that comparison figure. And it comes into what you said about, am I good enough to do this? Can I do this? Am I going to hold people back? And that does, when it comes to sports and fitness, that's usually what we've been taught about. If we're not good enough to compete, then we can't participate, right?
Exactly.
I think that's one of those big myths, right, through our whole life. If you're not good enough to play a particular sport, if you're not competitive enough, that's the other thing too. But if you're not competitive and you can't keep up, then you can't participate. And that can't be true for us. It has to be something that is good for us, that we're not competing with someone, we're not comparing ourselves. Even that's the lesson in the work that you do. You go out there for the fun and the adventure. And guess what? One of the byproducts or one of the benefits is that you're going to be participating with other people, and you're going to be socializing, and you're going to be more fit. So you're bringing
Exactly.
your fitness in. So, thank
Exactly.
you. That's my big takeaway. I hope other people have big takeaways as well. You got to think really deep about this sort of
So
thing.